They called their yacht the Well-Deserved. Tom and Jackie Hawks had spent decades working, saving, and dreaming of the day they could retire and live on the open water. And they made it. They actually made it. Two people who did everything right, who built a life together, raised a family, and earned their peace. In November 2004, they were ready to sell the boat and move back to land to be closer to their newborn grandson. They listed the yacht for sale. A young buyer reached out. He seemed normal, polite. His pregnant wife came along on the visit, and Jackie Hawks immediately warmed to her. What Tom and Jackie didn't know was that this man, Skylar Deleon, had never intended to buy anything. He had come to take everything, including their lives. What happened on the water that day, and how investigators eventually uncovered the truth, is one of the most disturbing true crime cases in California history. To understand how this crime happened, you have to understand who Skylar Deleon was, because on the surface, nothing about him screamed danger. Skylar Deleon was born John Julius Jacobson Jr. on August 12, 1979, in Sun Valley, California. His father, John Jacobson Sr., was convicted of a drug offense and went to prison when Skylar was young. That absence left a mark. By the time Skylar was a teenager, he was already chasing something: recognition, status, a way out. He found it, briefly, in Hollywood. At the age of 14, Skylar appeared in an episode of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the episode titled Second Chance, in 1994. It was an uncredited role, a few seconds of screen time. But for a kid who grew up without much, it felt like proof that something bigger was possible. It didn't go anywhere. He appeared in a few commercials. Auditions went nowhere. The career that was supposed to launch never did. By his late teens, Skylar had shifted direction entirely. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. That didn't last either. About a year in, he went AWOL. He later told authorities he had left to help his father. He received a dishonorable discharge. Back in California, Skylar reinvented himself again. He changed his name, cutting ties with his father, who he accused of years of abuse. He got a job with a mortgage lender. He met Jennifer Henderson, a woman from a close-knit, deeply religious family in Long Beach. They got married. They had 2 children together. They moved into a lean-to in the backyard of Jennifer's family home. By 2004, the money had run out. Skylar and Jennifer were broke, living beyond their means, and desperate. They had already been robbing small businesses and gas stations just to get by. Then, Skylar came across a listing. A retired couple in Newport Beach, California, was selling their 55-foot yacht for $440,000. Their names were Tom and Jackie Hawks. Tom Hawks was born on December 24, 1946. He spent his career as a probation officer, a man who spent his working life trying to rehabilitate people who had lost their way. He was a single father of 2 sons, Ryan and Matt, when he met Jackie O'Neill. Jackie was warm, adventurous, and full of life. The two fell in love and married in 1989. When Tom retired, the couple made a decision. They would sell their Arizona home and move onto the water. They bought a 55-foot yacht and named it the Well-Deserved. For years, Tom and Jackie lived on that boat. They sailed, they explored. They were, by every account from friends and family, genuinely happy. Ryan Hawks later told producers that some of the best times with his father were on the water. By late 2004, though, they were ready for a new chapter. Jackie's son had just had a baby. They wanted to be grandparents, present, nearby grandparents. So they listed the well-deserved for sale at $440,000 and started making plans to come back to land. That listing is what brought Skylar Deleon into their lives. He reached out, expressing interest. He seemed credible. He came across as a serious buyer. And when he brought his pregnant wife Jennifer along on an early visit, Jackie Hawks immediately softened. She saw a young family starting out, a baby on the way, a couple with their whole lives ahead of them. It was the perfect disguise, and Skylar had planned every detail. On November 15, 2004, Skylar Deleon arrived at the dock with two men, Alonzo Machain and John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Kennedy was a former gang member and ex-convict for attempted murder. He had been recruited by Skylar the same day of the murder. The plan was described to Machain beforehand in extraordinary terms. Skylar told him that he was an international hitman, that Tom and Jackie Hawks were evil people who needed to be eliminated. Machain, who later became the prosecution's key witness, said he believed Skylar completely. Tom and Jackie welcomed the group onto the well-deserved. They headed out to sea, a standard sea trial, the kind any buyer would request before purchasing a boat. At some point during the voyage, Skylar gave a signal. Kennedy and Machain overpowered Tom Hawks, handcuffing him. Machain subdued and cuffed Jackie. Their eyes and mouths were taped. They were placed on the bed below deck. Tom reached out and stroked Jackie's hand, trying to comfort her. Somehow, Jackie managed to pull part of the tape from her mouth. Machain heard her shout, "We trusted you. Why are you doing this?" Nobody answered. The Hawks were forced to sign documents, a bill of sale and a power of attorney that would allow Skylar and Jennifer to legally transfer ownership of the yacht and access their bank accounts. After signing, Tom and Jackie were brought back up to the deck. They were placed back to back. Skylar bent down and tied their handcuffed wrists to the boat's anchor line. Tom Hawks, even then, fought back. He kicked out and struck Skylar in the groin. Skylar recovered. He picked up the 65-pound anchor and he threw it overboard. Tom and Jackie Hawks were dragged into the Pacific Ocean, alive, bound together, and sinking. Their bodies were never recovered. Tom's brother Jim Hawks, a retired police officer, knew something was wrong almost immediately. When the Hawks missed scheduled contact with family, Jim went to the marina. He left a note on the boat with his phone number. Jennifer Deleon called him back. She told Jim that she and her husband Skylar had purchased the yacht with cash and watched Tom and Jackie drive away on November 4th, 11 days before the actual sea trial. Jim didn't believe it. He reached out to Tricia Schutz, a family friend who managed the Hawks' finances. She confirmed the couple had not received any large payment. Within days, a missing persons report had been filed. Investigators began looking at Skylar and Jennifer. The couple, when detectives first spoke to them, were cleaning a church. They appeared concerned. They were cooperative. They were, by all external appearances, exactly what they claimed to be. But the details didn't add up. Then, on December 16, 2004, detectives got a break. The Hawks' car had been located in Ensenada, Mexico. The people who had it said Skylar had given it to them on November 26th. Meanwhile, investigators found that the notary who had signed the bill of sale, a woman named Kay Harris, had been paid $2,000 to backdate the document. The notarization had taken place in a hotel room, not a proper office. Skylar had also asked a former co-worker named Adam Rohrig for help disposing of bodies in the ocean, multiple times before the Hawks disappeared. Rohrig had refused every time. He hadn't gone to the police. Detectives arrested Skylar on suspicion of money laundering. When they searched his Long Beach home, they found personal papers, identification, videotapes, and a laptop, all belonging to Tom and Jackie Hawks. Any hope the Hawkses were alive died right there, lead detective Byington later said. Then Alonzo McChain started talking. McChain told investigators everything: the signal, the handcuffs, the anchor, the last words Jackie Hawks shouted before she was thrown into the Pacific. In the spring of 2005, Skylar Deleon, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and Alonzo McChain were each charged with 2 counts of murder. Jennifer Deleon was charged separately. Jennifer went to trial first. Prosecutors showed that she had helped gain the Hawks' trust by bringing her baby on a visit, helped cover up the murders, and lied to investigators. She was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and sentenced to 2 life terms without the possibility of parole. On April 10, 2009, Skylar Deleon was found guilty of 3 counts of first-degree murder, including the Hawks and also John Peter Jarvie, a man whose throat Skylar had slit in December 2003 to steal more than $50,000. Skylar was sentenced to death. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was also convicted and sentenced to death. McChain, who testified for the prosecution and pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, was sentenced to 20 years. As of 2026, Skylar Deleon remains on death row at San Quentin Prison in California. Due to California's ongoing moratorium on the death penalty, an execution is unlikely to take place. Skylar, who officially changed her gender to female in 2019 and now goes by Skylar Preciosa Deleon, continues to be housed in the men's facility while legal proceedings around her conditions of confinement continue. Tom and Jackie Hawks were never found. Their yacht, the Well-Deserved, was returned to Newport Beach Harbor. It sat there, a piece of evidence, a ghost of 2 people who had done everything right and were repaid with the worst imaginable end. Their son Ryan said the murder verdict was just a warm-up. What he really wanted, what the family has always wanted, is for people to know who Tom and Jackie were, not just how they died.